Hi guys, DJ Prav here again, and welcome to another edition of Enterprise IT, where we bring you all the news and information from Enterprise IT space. And today with me is Richard. Hi Richard,
Hey,
how are you
buddy, how
today?
are you? Good to chat again.
Very good. Likewise, very good again. Today we're going to talk about something really interesting and where a lot of our customers have been talking about and asking questions about, and that is going to be hyper-converged infrastructure.
Yep.
So Richard, you ready for this one?
Yeah, mate, I'm all over it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this is one of our favorite topics. We
Yes.
love it all, and yeah, let's dive into it.
Yeah, cool.
So let me take the start on this one. So my understanding of it is, and you can obviously add to it. My understanding of it is coming in from an enterprise IT space where I was working a few years back. Um, the the start of the x86 environment, that was where you would have a three-tier architecture
Yep.
environment where you would be having one server deployed per role, and you have a storage there somewhere, and then you have networking all stitched together. But that was already getting complicated. Obviously, the next evolution to that story was something like a converged appliance from VCE vBlock. I know you have a lot of experience. Would you agree? Would you agree to this?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's maybe a step in the middle there as well, that where we started with
Yep.
three-tier and single workload, bare metal, I guess as we now call it, but we call it that
Yep.
because one of the things that happened there was virtualization came along, and this concept of being able to run virtual machines. So therefore, multiple different workloads on a single physical server. And then,
Yep.
then along comes converged infrastructure, and like you said, led by VCE and what they drove to
Yep.
market.
It's interesting how a small company called VMware that can change the whole
Changed the world.
whole landscape.
Yep. No, oh, really, absolutely. And I remember actually the first time I saw it, and I was actually working for Unisys at that stage, and one of the guys there showed it to me, and I was literally like, dude, that is the dumbest thing. Like, why would you want to do that?
Yeah, and that was that. Well, I started when started using VMware products when I was. I think VMware 4.x was out by the time, so it was a fairly mature product, but still had a lot of gaps in it. And yeah, I was looking at it. Beginning of it was, why do you need it? And then as the peel, like it's like onion peels, as you
Yeah.
remove more layers out of it, and you are like, wow, you can see the potential in the technology. So yeah,
Definitely.
I can definitely see where you're coming from. So coming out from the converged infrastructure, obviously the next evolution of that infrastructure is the hyperconverged.
Yeah.
So there are so hyperconverged. First of all, what is it? What would you define as a? Can I just buy a server from any vendor and that becomes a hyperconverged infrastructure? Is that what it is?
Well, yes, with some software, right? Because I guess hyperconverged is really it has a lot to do with the software, and so now the difference is where we had those three tiers before, if you know, compute and then some sort of network, storage fabric, and then storage. Now we consolidate all that together. We've got compute and storage within the same box, and then we use software to stitch that together. Typically, I think most solutions in the market use Ethernet as the interconnect for that.
Yep.
And so really that was around that combination of being able to use mainstream x86 servers combined with storage, stitching together with Ethernet. And fundamentally, I think what really happened there, and this is what I guess made Nutanix the leader, because they created this market. They
Sure.
effectively created the market segment that we now call hyperconverged. Well, and I believe the big thing that they really offered was, again, that next step in simplifying management
Correct.
and operations. In the same way that VCE did in offering converged infrastructure, Nutanix then with their hyperconverged approach sort of took that
Hyperconverged,
to the
yep.
next level. And now clearly we've got a lot of players in the market now. It's not just the Nutanix ball game.
So yeah, obviously Nutanix is the biggest player in the market, or one of the biggest players in the market. What are the other players in the market? I know that
Well,
you would come across within an enterprise IT space.
so the VMware-based solutions around vSAN, whether that's our own Dell EMC VxRail or vSAN Ready Nodes, are clearly probably the other solution in market. Other vendors also have other HCI offerings as well, but I think, to be brutally honest, if you look at the overall IDC numbers, there are really two players in the market, and that is vSAN VxRail and Nutanix.
But what if I'm a Microsoft customer,
yes.
I have signed the ELA?
I was about to say, so the other thing that we see, and I honestly, I don't understand why Microsoft haven't managed to gain more market penetration, because they are the other player that has a really, I think, particularly with their latest offerings, now built on, Server 2019 and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
It's a really good platform. So that's our AX appliances and delivering Azure. Now, this might be part of Microsoft's problem, right? So Azure Stack HCI, because everything is Azure for them. And so they've got so many Azure name things. They've got like public Azure, Azure Stack HCI, Azure Stack Arc. Everything is Azure Stack. And there are differences between all of those things. And I think it just becomes a bit confusing. Yeah. But anyway, I'm not part of Microsoft marketing.
So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they have their own fair shares of, naming challenges like they always had. I remember buying Windows phones in the days, and the original, believe it or not, the original phone was called Microsoft Windows Phone 7 Series System.
Oh my God.
It was that long name. Imagine that coming against Apple. So yeah, they have their own fair shares of name.
What I want out of this is Chris Jones, Nutanix, Windows Phone.
Yep.
Mate, Chris, you better be watching this, and I want some sort of sarky comment, because homeless in Hobart. And that's all I'm going to say on a public video.
I remember that one. I remember that story. And by the way, that is coming from an ex-Windows Phone fan. So, hey, Chris, no offense, by the way.
Yeah. I think he still secretly runs Windows Phone, even though he pretends not to anymore.
We all do, mate. We all ex-Windows Phone fans. We all do. We sit in the corner of our houses, in the dungeons that we have, the garages or whatever, the dark corner, and just go, please work. So, yeah.
Excellent. Well, I think, still talking about Microsoft, like I said, their Azure Stack solution, or the Azure Stack HCI, because there is a difference between Azure Stack and Azure Stack HCI, and we are
absolutely
talking about HCI today, so I'll specifically talk about Azure Stack HCI. Like I said, honestly, I don't think they have as much. No, I know they don't have as much market share as the other HCI players, but they actually have a really nice solution in market.
Yep.
So yeah, definitely. I guess that's part of our role, right? Is when we're talking to customers, is helping them make some decisions around where might we go, or what HCI solution might we look at selecting.
So this is a very interesting point that you put forward, Richard, because I can refer to people to go and watch one of our previous videos where we not only talked about how to select your appliance, but how to select your next IT vendor. So I hope you would enjoy that conversation as much as you're enjoying this one.
Yeah, so clearly everything we talked about there was more generic about selecting an IT vendor. So I guess sort of combining the information from that with, if I was talking to a customer today and it looks like an HCI solution is fit for purpose for them and what they're interested in, and it's going to deliver some benefits for them, then it's just about having that conversation with the customer, right? And so, we're talking about Microsoft. If they're a Microsoft diehard customer, they're already using Office 365, and particularly if they're already consuming some public Azure services, then where we would probably start is talking to them about the Microsoft offering and going, cool, so Microsoft actually have some offerings that might be of interest to you. And then obviously we have other customers that may be more VMware aligned. And so their strategy is around the VMware path. Well, for us, that's a really easy one, right? Because it clearly is, as Dell EMC, we're going to talk to them about VxRail and all the benefits that Rail brings to, particularly, we talked about HCI and how part of HCI is driving that operational efficiency. And so VxRail is just, turning the dial up to 10 on operational efficiency stuff. And then clearly still, we've got Nutanix there as well. Like if the customer is undecided on what hypervisor they want to run, or they particularly like the Nutanix story or the AHV hypervisor, then great. We've got Dell XC nodes, and we can deliver a Nutanix experience for the customer built on our PowerEdge servers.
If you're a customer who is looking to dip their toes in the HCI waters, you have a lot of options available to you from various different vendors, including Nutanix, VMware, Microsoft.
Absolutely, and even within those hardware solutions, we have extra IP enabled on, like VxRail is obviously our sort of flagship appliance around VMware. We did the same thing with the AX appliances for the Microsoft stuff. There's some extra IP in there, particularly around some of the management stuff and data protection abilities that we have built into those appliances, complementing that Microsoft stack. So yeah, there's plenty of choice. So then at that point, it doesn't just become cool, what software do I like? Back to that, what vendor do you choose? What extra things is that vendor able to deliver for you?
So Richard, that was some really good information on hyperconverged appliances and the infrastructure in general and the various vendors available in the market. Thank you so much for enlightening us today.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Pleasure as always.
And guys, if you have been watching these videos, I will highly encourage you to please subscribe to our channels, and please share the word around with your friends and colleagues so more and more people can benefit from the information that we provide here on these video series. I hope you enjoyed it, and we hope to see you in the next video of Enterprise IT. Until that time, bye for now.
See you guys.